Alright, so this is going to be a quick test on the cast Ronin trucks. I'm going to be checking how much they can rotate around the kingpin. So I'm going to be pushing this side of the axle down this way. I'm going to be pushing this side up that way, where normally they would rotate, kind of in that direction. So, and then however much it rotates around the kingpin like this is going to be how much turning you can lose to slop. So here we go. I'm just going to press down here, lift up here. Oops. If I hold that, oh, well, it's hard to, normally it rotates like that. Yeah, hard to show when it's not secured that way. But yeah, it's pretty, you can see a tiny bit of movement up here at the pivot cup, but not very much because it's a harder pivot cup. But yeah, so this is pretty good. A normal kingpin truck, so let's say just a Bear or a Randall with softer bushings might get as much as 8 degrees of rotation around the kingpin, which means that you could be losing, if it's 45 degrees, you could be losing 4 degrees of turning. So that's quite a lot. If it's a 45 degrees truck, so 8 degrees of rotation here, how can I explain it? So imagine being able to lean the board 8 degrees like that as you're riding, and having 8 degrees where the truck does no turning. And that's exactly what the slop can be in a kingpin truck, as much as 8 degrees of rotation. That's not very clear. Anyway, maybe it'll make sense to some of you, but yeah, 4 degrees of turning lost per truck if it's 45, and yeah, the cast Ronins are pretty dang good as far as dealing with it. They can be made better just by doing simple modifications. However, actually, you have to be careful because you might not actually want to get rid of it all, because getting rid of the slop makes the slop and harshness of the ride have an inverse relationship. So get rid of the slop and you get more harshness. So that's why most people don't run hard pivot cups in the cast Ronin, is because the pivot cup itself becomes too hard and it doesn't absorb vibrations. It makes the thing too harsh. People talk about slop all the time as being a bad thing, and I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. It just depends on what you want. If you don't want any slop, then you're gonna want something that's really harsh. If you don't want something that's really harsh, you're gonna want some slop. Another aspect of it, though, is that with slop, anyway, I see slop as a mechanic of the truck, not in just the sense of it's a flaw, but it's actually something that you should account for as a preference, not just a flaw, I guess. So there we go. That's the cast Ronin. My hand is really sore from trying to hold that. that nut here. Anyway, Longboard technology over and out.